Hey, good morning, everybody. I am thrilled that you're here today. I look a little ragtag because I'm about to get on a plane soon. The car is about to pick us up so that we can go for the holidays and visit family. And it'll be a lot of fun because I really do love my family, which is surprisingly, I never thought that I would, but there you go. Why do you care? My name is Rita Hickman. I'm a body mind expert and a shiatsu massage therapist. What I do is I help women navigate through toxic and narcissistic relationships. I help them figure out how to survive. I help them figure out how to move to the next chapter, how to open the next door. I do it through body mind stuff, Asian medicine, shamanic work, acupressure, um, digestion, brain fog, changing your beliefs, finding the core emotional issues and getting them released, energy work, sacred, connecting in with spirit, all the different things. I mean, I really put the whole in holistic. We're looking at it from a complete 360 on how who you are and what's going on, and we address all the things that are causing you trouble, let's say, that that get in your way, and that can be a million different things. So today we're going to talk about being sensual, a feminine, sensual energy sort of thing. Last night we had a wonderful, wonderful group call, and one of the topics that we covered, that the women shared and talked about, was about women's sensuality. As women get older, their bodies change for sure, and they become even more aware of how their body works. They become even more interested in the parts and the pieces that maybe they haven't felt before. Maybe for a certain amount of time, you just thought, well, I'll just power through and things will come back. But the truth of the matter is when you don't use your senses, when you don't use your body kind of says to itself, oh, you didn't really want this. And so it starts to cut things off. It starts to cut off those sensations and your intuition. Feminine energy is not all about, but feminine energy is those subtleties, the things that aren't so clear, the things which are more on the edges. And the problem is when you are in a toxic or a narcissistic situation is you start to shut down. Your body starts to get overwhelmed. You get overstimulated. There's so much going on. And you actually end up in a very masculine sort of energy. Well, most narcissists are males. And so, you end up hijacked into a world that you don't really fit well in, that doesn't really fit how your body works, how you work. Feminine energy is a whole different experience. When you're around women who or men with a strong feminine side who've done their work, and and you're in a circle, you're in a group, you come together, it feels differently. There are all these subtleties, there's all this lightness and this magic. And when you're able to be comfortable with yourself, when you're with other feminine energies who are comfortable with themselves, it's a very powerful situation. Some of the best healings that I've been involved with have been because we had a focus of feminine energy. So is there anything wrong with males or masculine energy? No, not at all. But for many women, we tried to become who we thought we should be. We tried to live in a very masculine world. And the problem is, as you see it, how our masculine world looks like, it's not pro women. It's not pro 51 or 52% of the world population. It's not. And so women have had to step out of what their, more traditional roles are and really start to reclaim the whole of who they are, which includes feminine energy, and includes sensuality, and includes being aware of your environment. One of the wonderful, wonderful things about being female is that you have these heightened senses. You have the ability to enjoy life at a very, very deep level. And unfortunately, because you've been trying to take your square peg and put it into a round hole, you're missing out. You're missing out on so many wonderful experiences, which are happening right this second. One of the things that why I'm in the practice that I am, and I not only do my coaching, I have a wonderful body mind practice where we do a lot of great healing work, mentoring and relaxation and working on the Asian medicine and the diagnoses with that, and movement and stretching and energy work and moving of emotions. And I mean, it's just really, really beautiful. And the reason I love it so much is because it's so sensual, it's so sensory oriented. It's about allowing yourself to get close to another human being and going on a journey. And the only way we can do that is when we're not shut down. You probably feel shut down now. You probably feel overwhelmed, overstressed, overstimulated, and your body just doesn't want to work. And you're missing out on some really important parts of life that you don't even know, or maybe you've forgotten that you're missing out on. Now, here's the deal: when we cut off those parts of ourselves, we don't function well because we're losing our intuition. We're losing our knowingness. We are disconnecting ourselves um, from the wavelengths that are always surrounding us. We are numbing ourselves to them. But when you start spending time with healthy women, with women who are comfortable with themselves and happy with themselves, or on a journey to move forward, when you spend time with them, your heart starts to lighten. You start to be able to notice things around you that you didn't notice before. And suddenly you went from a life that was like, how am I going to survive this, to a life that is, wow, this is a miracle. You know, Working with women and understanding how we work and working with it and all those energies and all the subconscious and the unconscious and the conscious and the nervous system and the DNA and the cells, and in a very real, concrete sort of way, in a way that's measurable, in a way that is understandable and practical and pragmatic. We have to get back to that. We have to get back to having experiences of femininity and having experiences of softness where you can reach out with your senses and start to enjoy. I mean, how many times have walked by a tree and said, I wonder what the tree is thinking? Yeah, and the tree is thinking on its own conscious level. The tree is thinking, it's alive, and it's got this root system, and they talk to other trees and a whole communication thing going on. And they've got an energy and they've got a life. They're a community. And so when you look at a tree, you're actually looking at a consciousness. There is a level of consciousness there. There's a response, there's a reaction, there's if you drill a hole in it, sap will come out. If you water it, it will grow. If you give it sunlight, it will reach for the sky. That's a consciousness. And so we're missing out on the whole community of life that lives around us when we start to shut down our feminine, when we start to shut down those parts of us that are in tune with that flow. And that's what our sensuality is about. It's about being sensitive and aware and in tune with the flow of everything that's going on around you. It's so easy when you're bombarded and beaten up and belittled and minimized to forget or not be able to experience the magic and the miracle that life is. So here's your assignment. This is what I want you to do over the holidays. I want you to every day, even if it's just for a few minutes, go out and do something that reconnects you. Maybe you go and say hello to a tree. It could be 5 minutes long. It doesn't have to be a big deal. Maybe you go out and you put your feet on the ground, and feel the earth underneath your feet and feel the wavelengths and the power and the magnetic forces and the ley lines and all of the things coming off of the earth. Feel that. Feel what's coming up because it's there. They're vibrations, measurable. Let yourself get back in touch with those subtleties. That's that feminine. That's that awareness. Let yourself feel and feel good. Let yourself feel rain on your face. One of my favorite things is to go outside when it's raining, cold or not, and feel it on my face. We have to take this time to start reconnecting with that feminine and with our senses and our sensuality, because it's such a critical part of our intuition. It's such a critical part of navigating through life. And when we shut ourselves off, when we shut ourselves down, like women are taught to do, we really are not doing anyone a disservice. So make sure you take some time over this holiday to reconnect. It doesn't even have to be with a person. It just has to be with another consciousness, with another soul, whatever that looks like to you. And when you notice, when you start doing that, when you start putting that in your life, you notice more of it, and you start putting more of it into your life, because you make the connection that you are trying to survive with two legs and one arm behind your back and a blindfold on. When you start to make that shift, when you start to recognize that there's so much more going on and that you want to feel it and be a part of it, that's when you evolve. That's when you move forward. That's when your life gets better, because you have unplugged yourself because of the situations that you're in. You've been forced to or chosen to unplug. And that's okay, but you need to unplug from the craziness of everybody's ego and narcissistic energy. And you need to plug into something that's pure, that's clean, that's predictable to a certain extent. And that is reconnecting with all of the things that are around us that we don't even notice because we are overwhelmed and exhausted. If you start in a small way, just by even tasting your food and enjoying it, things start to change, because it's the movement that does it. It's the reconnection that does it. And suddenly you have resources and opportunities and support and caring and balance that you forgot existed, that you thought were gone for you for forever, but they're not. But it's up to you. It's up to you to save yourself. It's up to you to go out and start reconnecting and be a part and claim the part of all that is that you are. Okay? So, happy Thanksgiving. I will see you tomorrow morning. Theoretically, I'll be in Dallas. So, we'll see about the timing. And if you feel stuck, reach out. We've got that wonderful group that we're pulling together and really getting motivated and moving forward, and shaping into the most wonderful group possible. And if you think somebody else needs this, pass it on, pass it forward, because the world is not going to survive if we don't start healing ourselves and becoming the full beingness that we're supposed to be. Okay. So have a great rest of your day. Have a great holiday. Talk to you later. Bye.